Hey, it's Mike with Riding in the Ozarks, and today we are going to talk about the best flashlight for motorcyclists, the ARKPRO from Olight. This is the next generation in their ARC Field series. Now, if you're like me, you have some essentials you keep on the motorcycle whenever you travel. Mine pretty much live on my bike because I have a touring bike with saddlebags. I can carry all of this. This year, I found that my kit needed an upgrade. This is what I bought several years ago, kind of a cheap tactical light, like 35 bucks I think I spent for it several years ago. And it was a failure this year. We'll talk about that in a minute and why I am choosing this, the ARKPRO, instead. Now, a lot of things can go wrong when you're on a motorcycle. Flat tires, which is why we have a tire kit and an air inflator. Loose bolts, which is why we have a tool kit. You could have an accident, or someone with you could have an accident. I've come across accidents multiple times and stopped to offer aid because I carry a first aid kit. Now, this is a trauma kit. I'm a firm believer that if you're going to carry something that makes holes, you should carry something to patch holes. Also carry a knife. I choose a neck knife because when I'm sitting on a motorcycle, I can't get a pocket knife out. So I see a lot of guys carrying knives that mount to their belt outside in a sheath. For me, this works. I leave it inside my shirt. It's my everyday carry. Now, someone's going to say that blade's not very useful. It's too small. It serves the purpose of what I intend to use it for. And we're not here to talk about my everyday carry. If you want to see a video on that, leave me a comment down below and I'll do a deeper dive into all the stuff I carry on the motorcycle, what's in my toolkit, and what purpose it might serve. This year we did some motorcycle camping, and one of those trips was Born Free, Texas. Now, my wife was a little concerned about walking to the porta potty 200 feet away in the middle of the night because of rattlesnakes. We don't live in Texas. I figured there was probably not going to be a problem at a campground full of motorcycles, but obviously we needed a light to make sure we didn't trip over a tent stake. We were camping around a bunch of other people, and we ended up using our phones, which were not very good. And the reason why is this light that I bought, battery powered. I've since replaced the batteries. We're going to compare my new light to my old light, but the batteries had run dead and I hadn't checked it. And you're saying, well, that's your own fault. Well, it's true, but this charges off USB-C. So if I realized it was dead, I could have charged it with one of the cables I have on the bike for phones or cameras or other things. I don't carry AA batteries around. I just don't. They corrode, they can make a mess. And this is a much, much better light. This is a serious upgrade from where I was at. Now, this cost a little more, but Olight's going to have it on a Black Friday special, so we're going to get this video out in time for that. There'll be a link in the description down below. It is an affiliate link, and Olight did send me this light, and I am happy to work with Olight. I've been an Olight customer for years. This little bitty Olight rechargeable light has been on my keychain for so many years that the black has wore off most of it, and it still works. I first discovered Olight when I was looking for tactical lights for things that go pew-pew, and they make some. And the whole reason I'm sharing that with you is because I want you to understand I'm not just doing this video because Olight gave me a light. I jumped at the opportunity. They actually contacted me back during Sturgis, and I thought I missed the opportunity, but I reached out and said I'd love to collaborate with them in the future, and they said, we'll make time to get you in for the Black Friday promotion. As always, I like to be transparent on the channel. Now, if you think I'm blowing smoke because they sponsored this video, wait till you see how this light performs. Now, there's 3 variations of this light, and I think they start at like $99. I think this one's $109. I got lucky. They sent me an orange one. I didn't even ask for orange. But they make several other colors if this is not your thing. They have a light version of this, and then they have an ultra version of this. Now, something that a lot of people don't talk about on this light is the magnetic base. That's for a magnetic base charger, but it also sticks to stuff, which is great. So if you have a place that you need to point it and you have something metal you can stick it to make that work, that's a great thing. But because of this ingenious design of this clip, you can also clip it to your hat and use it on your hat. Let me show you. So we have it clipped on my hat now, and I now have a spotlight on my hat. Yeah, there's a little weight there, but this thing is not bad. I think it's 115 grams. For everybody that works in ounces instead of grams, that's 4 ounces. It definitely will work if you need it in a pinch for a roadside repair. All right, if you're still interested in seeing what this light can do, let's get into the features. We're going to talk about the different modes. It has multiple modes, multiple types of light. I've had this light about a week now, and I'm really impressed with it already. Build quality is super nice. This is a solid piece. It's submersible to 1 meter, which means if it's raining and you have to use it, you're not going to have a problem with it. This does have a USB-C charger on here, but it is still submersible because they've sealed the components around that for that connection internally. This thing has some great features, including a green light laser, a spotlight, a floodlight, and a UV light. And I never had a light with the UV light mode that I could carry around in my pocket. So now I thought, oh, well, when we go to a hotel or a VRBO, I can check the room out and stuff with the UV light for stains and things. But I'm not sure I want to see that stuff. I've already tested it. You'll see what I mean when I demonstrate it. It has a rotary dial here for selecting your modes between UV, flood, and spot. It also, once you turn it on, has lights that indicate the battery level and the brightness level. Now, they don't stay on the whole time, of course, to save battery, but when you first turn it on, you can see what your levels are. We'll demonstrate that in the dark. It's very intuitive. When you're holding it in your hand, you can just toggle the modes like that between flood and spot. We go over to UV, you're probably not going to see that in the camera, but it's there. This just feels really high quality when you're holding your hand, really solid, well made. Now, there's a magnetic charging base here, and it comes with the charger. I have about 4 of these for those other lights I showed you. Snaps on and stays on. Plug that into your USB charger, and you're good to go. It'll start charging. This lights up. Green, of course, means it's fully charged. Red means it's charging. There's a button on this side for the laser. My shop is pretty dark, so we'll test some of these modes in here, but we'll test the spotlight outside because it has 205 meters of range on turbo mode, which is 800 lumens. There's also moonlight, low, medium, and high, which we'll demonstrate in a second. What I find really interesting, and we'll see how that works outside tonight as well, is that it has 1500 of lumens on turbo for the spotlight. It's really bright. Inside here is a 2000 milliamp hour battery. That's 33% improvement over the previous ARKPRO, if you're familiar with the Olight ARKfield series. All right, we have the camera at the far end of my shop. This is 40 feet long, so that's what we're working with in here, and we'll show you how well this does inside a 30 by 40 shop. Is that dark enough for everybody? Single press to turn it on. This is what they call moonlight mode, and you really don't have much here. It's more of a night light. If I shine it right down on the ground or somewhere, it's okay. It would be something that would be good to use in a tent when you didn't want to wake everybody else up. Let's take it up a notch by doing a long press. That is low. Again, we are on the flood. That is medium. That is high. That's turbo mode. Let's flip it over to spot. On turbo mode, there's moonlight on spot. You can kind of see the bikes. There's low. See a lot more light on the bikes there. Medium on spot. High on spot. Turbo on spot. This is the 205 meters. We'll test this outside tonight. All right, let's test out the UV mode. You can kind of make out some lettering on that bag right there. Now you can see it says NOCO, and the bright orange string shows up really well, as well as the label that says since 1914. They talk about being able to see stains with UV lights, and this is the pouch that I keep my plug kit in for patching tires. And you can see there's a stain in the corner of it, probably from some oil or something that spilt on it and ran down. Don't get all crazy about what it might be. Now this is in low mode. Let's see what high mode looks like. Much brighter. Okay, now we're about 15 feet away looking at the wall of my workbench. You can see some bright orange paracord I keep on the workbench. You can see some reflective targets back there. You can see signs up there. Does a really good job of working as a nightlight as well. You turn it off, you can see the charging level. When you turn it on, you'll see the brightness level on the other side there in white. There's a lock button. Now when you press it, it won't come on. See the lock indicator? You have to press it and hold to take lock off. Now it comes on. Low, medium, high. Double click for turbo. All right, guys, we're outside. It's really windy tonight, but I wanted to give you an idea of what this, how bright this flashlight is. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna shine it out here in different modes on the trees. We'll see how well it illuminates across my yard. Then go back here where it's even darker. You can kind of see the tree here and some of that. All right, that's pitch black out here, isn't it? Now, lights on moonlight. You can't tell anything. That's on the flood. There's low. You can, if I hit the ground down here, you can see something, but we're not sending a beam real far yet. Okay, that is medium. And you can start to see the trees. Those are about 80 feet, probably. That is high. We're not on turbo yet. That tree down there is probably the furthest point in the yard before you start getting into the trees. That's a good 100 feet. And that's turbo. Now, this is on the flood, not the spot. That is the spotlight off. That's moonlight. If I shine it down on the ground, you can see stuff here. That is medium. So on medium, we're starting to hit the trees out there. That is high. Turbo. And this is what the UV looks like outside on high. All right, it is the next day. I wanted to show you in the daylight. Those trees that we were looking at last night, they're about, the furthest one's about 45 meters, so 135 feet, something like that. So I wanted to give you a little perspective on that. And I wanted to tell you guys that thank you for watching this video. I hope you like this flashlight. I'm really impressed with it. And if you want to save over 20 bucks on it, I think it's going to be 22% or something, not during Black Friday, make sure you check out that link down below. Really appreciate it. Hope you all stay safe. Keep on riding, and we'll see you in the next one.